Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast, The Veiled Reckoning. I just wanted to hop on here real quick. This is going to be a short little episode. I just wanted to clear the air a little bit. I wanted to just say that this is not a political channel. So if that's what you came here for, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. But the research that I do isn't to support one side or the other politically. Like I said, this is not a political channel. If I do research on something, it's because I feel like it's not being reported. So I'm trying to find things that aren't being told to everybody. And as I've mentioned before in my past videos, I'm going to do that regardless. I'm the type of person, at least especially now after everything we've seen with the way that the Charlie Kirk case has been handled and the current events going on, and with all of the clear and blatant fraud and lying that's been going on. If it isn't clear to you now that what we're being told isn't necessarily true, or they show you things out of context to make you think one way or the other, if that isn't blatantly obvious for you at this point, then I am sorry to say that I don't know if there's much hope left for you. I mean, people like me are probably trying to do our best. That's another reason why I'm creating this channel, because to some extent, it's not even your fault. People have been told that they should be, I mean, and here's the sad part, is people should be able to rely on their local media to tell them accurate, true, factual things. Like, you see it on the news, so that means it's true, right? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, but that should be the case. That is what we should be able to do. And considering we can't do that now, that's it. People like me are like, well, the news says this. I'm going to go look up the information for myself and see if it actually is true. And sometimes it is, but that's fine. There should be fact checkers. It's a sad world. You're living in a sad world when you have to fact check the fact checkers, the supposed fact checkers, right? I mean, to Trump's credit, he was right about at least one thing. Uh, the news is fake. The fake news media, to his credit, like I said, he wasn't lying about that. And he knew that they were fake, and he knows they're fake because he also is involved with knowing why they're fake. He knows that the news protects certain people and doesn't protect other people. He knew that because they were doing that for his friend Epstein, and he was aware of that. So that's why he was coming out and saying it. He's like, I know that I'm not getting the publicity that I'm supposed to be getting because I know how the media works. And at the time, who controlled the media? The Democrats, right? So, and to some extent, they still do. It's just now they're being forced to be more fair to Trump, because now everybody knows that if they're being unfair to Trump, or if they're not reporting things accurately, they know it's because they're being disingenuous, they're being dishonest, and it's more obvious. What people aren't noticing is that it's actually all media. It's not just CNN, it's Fox News too. And now, where we thought we could get independent media through podcasters and other things online, like maybe through influencers like Matt Walsh, for example, whom I used to watch and trust, and even Michael Knowles, for example, as eloquently as he sounds. I mean, gosh, I tell my husband all the time, I wish I had the ability to speak the way that Michael Knowles does. I mean, could you imagine the views that I would get if I could talk as beautifully as he does, the way that he can just pull and pick words? I mean, maybe that's what a education at Yale will get you, you know. Maybe that's what going to school with people lighting the loafers, as he says, will get you. That's fine. I didn't go to Yale. I wasn't of privileged enough, I guess, to go. Um, but honestly, at this point, considering what all these universities are involved in, I guess I should consider myself lucky. I was spared the uh, cultish, elitist indoctrination of becoming part of the so-called elite, where we apparently are doing sick and vile things at the expense of other people and human beings, where we will do whatever we have to or say whatever we have to to keep our status of being at the top or whatever, like, God, thank God for that, right? But I say this to say that this isn't a political channel. And the reason why I'm coming out and saying this is because I've had messages, I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, I get you say you're not a political channel, but all you're doing is talking about Trump. Well, guess what? I have no problem talking about the fact that Clinton is in the files and everything else. I have mentioned that he is and that Bill Gates is, and there is plenty of Democrats that are in these files. But the reason why I haven't mentioned it, at least yet, is because they are being mentioned. They are being mentioned. If you haven't turned on the news lately, they are getting talked about routinely and criticized, and they're getting their day in court. I believe the Clintons are now having to go in and give and testify before Congress. Okay? So I don't need to bring it up because it's brought up. That's what I think that people are not understanding what this channel is about. This channel isn't about talking about the same current media mainstream events that you're literally hearing on repeat all day long anyway. My channel is about looking at the inconsistencies in articles and information that is out there but not easily available to you, or difficult to look through, like these 3 million plus files. You have to understand, like, there's whole teams of people looking through these files. They have a whole team, like, here, you take this chunk, I'll take that chunk. I'm one person. I'm literally one person by myself looking through these files. Okay? So I don't have like, for me, I have to be a lot more intentional and focused on what I'm looking for and what it is that I'm trying to, what information it is that I'm trying to get out to you guys. Okay? And that information right now is the information that people aren't reporting on. Like the fact that Ivana Trump's body is buried at Donald Trump's golf course. I don't feel like a lot of people know that. I really don't. I feel like, and it's, you'd think people would know that, but they don't. And the fact that the same medical examiner that was approving Jeffrey's autopsy, in fine print in the files, mind you, it's not even on his actual documented report, but underneath the documented report, you see the approved by Jason Graham under it. That's back in 2019. Fast forward to 2022. Now he's the chief medical examiner of New York, the same year where Ivana Trump accidentally fell down the stairs right before she's set to go to court to talk about the litigation against Trump and his properties, that he was supposedly like overinflating the value of his properties and things like that. And who would know more about his properties than her? I mean, she was managing them probably better than he was. So I know she knew a lot of information. But people don't know. The media doesn't want you talking about that. That's my point. The media doesn't want you criticizing the president. The media doesn't want you asking these questions. And I'm not, let me, like I said, this isn't a political channel. If this was a Democratic president, if this was Biden that was doing this stuff, rest assured, I can promise you, I bet my life that I would be doing the same thing. I would be saying, hey, nobody's calling this out and this is crazy. What people are failing to understand is that this is not a left or a right or a Republican or a Democrat thing. This is a straight up anti-human versus human being things. Unreasonable people versus reasonable people thing. Child abusers versus not child abusers. That's all it is. And if they were reporting Trump's inconsistencies in these files, or very questionable things being brought up in these files, the way that it should be, I wouldn't have to do this. I wouldn't. I would go and move my attention somewhere else, which, considering the fact that they still haven't looked into his golf course, is like, why is that? Why are we not talking about that? If any one of us, if any, let me tell you right now, if I was accused or you were accused of having buried somebody at your place of business, if the FBI or somebody got a lead, or the local police, someone's like, hey, dude, this guy is like straight up killing people and burying them, and I know exactly where, and I can take you to where I saw this happen, that person would be hauled in for questioning so dang fast, and there would be a full-fledged investigation into their life. I mean, think about it. Just last month, there was a guy who went and dug up like 100 bodies at the graveyard or something. They got a tip. They went to go investigate, and lo and behold, yep, this guy's house is full of all these dug up bodies off of a tip. Okay, so all I'm saying is that it's a little weird that this guy's being accused of this stuff and nobody's talking about it, and the media's not talking about it. So if they're not going to talk about it, then I'm going to talk about it. And it's not because he's a Republican, and it's not because I'm anti-Trump. It's because I'm anti-pedophilia, rapist, murdering, elitist. All of it is what I am. I'm anti whatever the heck they have going on here is what I'm anti. Okay? And I'm pro the safety of children, and I am pro the safety of our country, and I'm pro anything that is good and light and secure. But all this evil crap, it's got to stop. And yeah, another thing that people have been telling me is, oh, well, it's never going to end. So there's no point. Yeah, I understand. It's Trump and Epstein today, and it's going to be someone else tomorrow. But I'm never going to stop. They're never going to stop, and I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop pointing it out. I am never going to stop trying to shine this light for people to see. I'm not. I'm not. So there you have it. All right. I got to go. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.